Imagine walking through the streets of an ancient city as night begins to fall. The shadows of the great cathedrals stretch across the ground, and high up in their imposing towers, stone creatures watch over everything. They have grotesque forms, outstretched wings, and hollow eyes that seem to follow every movement. These are the gargoyles, figures shrouded in mystery and legend. But what is the true origin of these dark creatures? And have they ever manifested in the real world? Get ready, because in this video, we're going to explore the history of gargoyles, uncover frightening accounts of sightings, and delve into a mystery that spans centuries. To understand the origin of gargoyles, we need to go back to the 13th century, when Gothic cathedrals began to rise across Europe. These buildings were not just places of worship, but also artistic structures filled with symbolism. Gargoyles, with their monstrous shapes, were originally designed to serve a practical function. They were drain pipes, responsible for channeling rainwater away, preventing it from damaging the walls. But over time, these stone creatures began to take on a much darker presence. The word gargoyle comes from the French gargoyle, meaning throat. The name is no coincidence, as rainwater seemed to be swallowed and spat out by the mouths of these creatures. But why create such terrifying beings for such a simple purpose? The answer lies in the beliefs of the time. In the Middle Ages, it was believed that gargoyles not only channeled water, but also warded off evil spirits. Their grotesque and threatening forms were meant to protect the cathedrals and the people within, keeping the forces of evil outside. But was this merely a superstition? Or was there something darker behind these figures? Although gargoyles were created to be mere sculptures, there are accounts that suggest that, on certain nights, these creatures came to life. In 14th century France, stories circulated among monks and peasants who claimed to have seen gargoyles moving in the shadows of cathedrals. One of the most frightening accounts comes from Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris. A monk, known for his devout and dedicated behavior, wrote in his diary that on a stormy night, he witnessed something that left him terrified. According to him, one of the cathedral's gargoyles, which he saw every day, moved its head and stared directly at him. The monk swore that the creature's eyes, once empty and expressionless, suddenly came to life. They glowed red like fire, and he felt that something evil was watching him. This vision disturbed him so much that he spent the rest of his days praying for protection from evil. But this wasn't the only time gargoyles were accused of moving. Similar accounts emerged in England and Germany, with witnesses claiming that, under certain conditions, these stone creatures seemed to come to life and stealthily move across rooftops. One of the most famous stories about gargoyles comes from the city of Rouen, France. In the 15th century, a great storm struck the city, and many believed it was the work of evil forces. After the storm, strange events began to occur. Villagers reported seeing a huge gargoyle flying over the city's streets at night, its eyes glowing in the dark. The creature, according to the villagers, wasn't just a statue, but something alive. It was fast, agile, and disappeared into the shadows before anyone could identify it precisely. The reports caused so much fear that the local bishop decided to perform an exorcism ritual at the cathedral, believing that the gargoyle was possessed by an evil spirit. After the ritual, the sighting stopped, but to this day, the older residents of Rouen talk about the night the gargoyle came to life. Over the centuries, gargoyles continued to capture people's imaginations. They moved from cathedrals to horror stories, comics, and movies. In modern stories, gargoyles are often depicted as ancient guardians or cursed creatures that can only be freed at night. It may seem like the reports of gargoyles coming to life are a thing of the past, but surprisingly, there are modern witnesses who claim to have seen these creatures in action. In the 1990s, a night watchman at a church in Spain reported seeing one of the building's gargoyles move. He described the creature as leaping from one tower to another with surprising agility. Although the account was dismissed as imagination, others working at the church confirmed hearing strange noises during the night. And it wasn't just in Spain. In the United States, in 2007, security cameras at a museum in Philadelphia captured images of a strange shadow resembling a gargoyle flying over the roof. The footage, though inconclusive, sparked a series of debates among conspiracy theorists and paranormal enthusiasts. So, what exactly are gargoyles? Just ancient sculptures meant to channel water? Or is there something darker behind these grotesque figures? Despite advances in science and modern architecture, the mystery of gargoyles remains. Their stone eyes continue to watch silently, as if waiting for something. And perhaps, the next time you walk near an ancient cathedral or pass by one of these stone creatures, you might feel the same unsettling sensation that so many people have described over the centuries. After all, who can say for sure whether gargoyles are just statues? What do you think? Leave your opinion in the comments, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to leave your like. Until the next investigation, gargoyles, whether guardians or monsters, will continue to fuel our fears and fascinations. And as long as there are ancient cathedrals and dark towers, these stone creatures will remain one of the greatest mysteries of history.